Thank you to all my channel members, including my fan appreciation level members and my contributor level members, for helping support the YouTube channel. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my September book haul. I'm going to talk about all the books that I purchased or received in the month of September. I had 20 books on the haul this month. 11 of them are books that I purchased, and then 9 of them are books that were sent to me by authors or publishers. So we'll start out talking about the purchases, and then I'll talk about the ones that I received after that. So let's start with what I purchased, and I bought The Key to Rebecca by Ken Follett. Ken Follett is quickly becoming one of my favorite authors, and I have just so much enjoyment of his books, and I'm trying to collect as many of them as I can, and so this is one of the books I still had yet to purchase. So now I have The Key to Rebecca in my collection. Another author who writes outside the typical genres that I normally read, yet I'm trying to collect every book of his, is John Grisham, and I purchased 3 John Grisham books this month because I found them all for very reasonable prices. I purchased John Grisham's The Whistler novel, I purchased his novel The Guardians, and I purchased his novel A Rogue Lawyer. And those are the 3 books of his that I purchased. My rule with Grisham is I will check to make sure it's standalone, which like almost all of his books are standalone. He has a handful of like books that are sequels or something, but almost all his books are standalones. But if it's a standalone, I go into the books totally blind. I go totally blind, and I'm really excited to read all of these because John Grisham, as I mentioned, is one of my favorite authors of all time, and he has such a great writing style and such a great batting average. Let's go into the more genres, going into science fiction and fantasy that I purchased. I did purchase a copy of Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game. I had a hardcover of this, and I still probably have it somewhere, but it's a really weird edition. And I want to read this book, but I did not want to read that weird edition. So I got the mass market, which is much more my personal size that I prefer, and hopefully I will enjoy Ender's Game, because so many people recommend this. Not just booktubers and stuff, but like authors I talk to are like, have you read Orson Scott Card yet? I'm like, no, I have not. So I purchased a copy of that. It was really cheap. I also purchased a book that, I don't know when I'll get to it, but between the cover and the premise of the book alone, I'm really excited. And that is Paul, I don't know if it's Chafe or Chafee, but Paul Chafe's Genesis. This is a science fiction novel. It says, humanity's only hope of survival. The human race is running out of time on overcrowded Earth, and only one man has the courage to do what is necessary to save it. Colony ship Ark is the greatest project the human race will ever attempt. A self-contained world a century in the building, launched on a 10,000-year journey, voyage to carry the seeds of civilization to the stars. It is humanity's final gamble for the escape from a desperate world, but the prize of hope is measured in lives. And I believe this is one of 2 books that Chafee did for Baen. I don't think that he continued on with the series, so I don't know if this will read well as a standalone or if I'll feel dissatisfied, but between that premise and that awesome cover, I was like, I'll pick up a copy at the Boost bookstore. I also purchased the 5th book in the Homecoming series by Orson Scott Card, titled Earthborn. This is his science fiction retelling of the Book of Mormon, and the series is complete now. I have the whole series in mass market paperback, and so I will plan to read this series in 2026, and I'm very excited to read this. Another Orson Scott Card series. I'm actually more excited for this than Ender's Game, personally, but that's just me. I think I'll enjoy it more, but maybe I'll love Ender's Game as well. What else did I purchase? I did some Star Wars purchases this month. I did purchase Jedi Apprentice Special Edition to the Followers, because I'm trying to collect all of the Jedi Apprentice series, all of the trying to collect all of the Jude Watson books slowly. I know she did a ton, so I'm working really slow on getting them, but slowly getting another one. And then I found 2 books that I thought I would have to order online. I thought for sure I'm going to have to order these to get them. But I went to my used bookstore locally, and they had just one copy of each of the two books, and those are the Clone Wars books. You have Stealth and Siege. I don't know which one comes first, but this is a duology written by Karen Miller. It is, I actually had a friend in college who really liked these books, and this is two more books for the Star Wars adult line from Del Rey I needed to purchase. I cannot find them anywhere in mass market, Del Rey. What are you doing? I had to get them in trade. But anyway, I'm just glad to have copies. And with this, I only have one more Star Wars novel I need to purchase. Just one more, and that's Shadow Games by Maya Catherine Bonoff and Michael Reeves. So once I get Shadow Games, I literally have all the adult novels for Star Wars, and I'm very excited by that. And then the last book I purchased was Ride or Die by Delilah Dawson. I read this earlier this year. I have a review up. I was sent an ARC through NetGalley, and so I read it that way and reviewed it. But Ride or Die, I purchased it because I wanted to have a physical copy, because I have physical copies of my other Delilah Dawson reads. So those are the books that I purchased this month. What about the books I was sent? Well, we'll start with the ones I was sent by authors, and then we'll go to the ones sent to me by publishers. I was sent these two books, My Father's Land and My Father's Ghost by A.C. Wilson. These are books 1 and 2 in the Gwambi tetralogy. I think Mr. Wilson said that the third book comes out pretty soon. And I'm very excited because I think these are kind of like YA-ish adventure books. And something that this author does is he puts content levels on the back, like a rating system, so that you know what you're getting into. And I absolutely love that he did that. And he reached out and said, "Do I want to have? Do I want to accept copies?" And I said, "Sure." These will probably be on the 2026 read list eventually. I was also sent some more books from the Salvage Title series. If you know, I've read through the Salvage Title trilogy. I read one of the books of the Coalition series for it, and one of the authors, David Alan Jones, contacted me and said, could he send me his 3 books that he wrote for his trilogy. I think it's called the Salvage Race trilogy. So he sent me Salvage Mind. Love that cover. He sent me Salvage Search and Salvage Race. I think I'll get to these in 2026. Maybe I can start the first one in 2025, but it'll probably be 2026 that I read this trilogy. But I'm excited because I like the Salvage Title universe, and I'm curious to see what another author does with the series. Now for books that were sent to me by publishers. I was sent the book Academy of Outcasts by Larry Correia by Ethan Vault Comics. I'm very excited to read this book, not only because this is one of the most hyped books in the fantasy sci-fi community in quite a long time, but also because this is his first step outside Bane to go over to Ethan, and it's also a part of Vault Comics and Ethan as well. And then just, a lot of my friends who are authors who have read the book already have been really buzzy about it. And so I've now, all the other Larry Correia stuff I've been like trying to catch up. This one, I'm getting in on the ground floor, getting to read it right when it comes out. So this is actually on the October TBR. It was on the October TBR anyway. I was going to read it anyway. But when the publisher offered to send me a copy, I was like, yes, I will absolutely read it. So I'm very excited to read Academy of Outcasts. And by the way, you may have seen an interview with Larry about another book that he has coming out, American Paladin, on the channel. Just saying. Then I also was sent 3 books from Bane. I was sent Mountain of Fire by Jason Cordova. This is a standalone book in the Black Tide Rising series. I actually read the hardcover when it came out. It is an amazing, amazing book. It is so good. I loved this. I read this last year. So yes, Mountain of Fire with a great cover by Kurt Miller, I believe. So I loved that cover. And then they also sent me their new short story collection titled Swords and Larceny, edited by David F. Shirod and Mark Finn. And this got a lot of recognizable names: Wen Spencer, Tim Akers, Christopher Rocchio, and more. So I'm really excited to get to this one as well eventually. Branch out into more short story collections. Then speaking of Wen Spencer, they also sent me her book Black Tide and Tales, which is the second book in a new series. And I think the first book was called The Black Wolves of Boston. And this is part of the Feral for Fantasy publishing initiative. So I'll try to get to that eventually. So those are the books that I purchased or was sent in the month of September. I'm really excited to get to these, or if I've already read them, to share them with you. So until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.